Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chester County Intermediate Unit Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Sarah and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time, and we encourage you to do so. After this session, I will be posting a link in the chat. We invite you to join a breakout room with all of the college representatives that presented this hour. The breakout rooms will last approximately 15 minutes between the end of this session and before the next session begins at the top of the hour. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Chester County. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Harrisburg University.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jordan Sneevely. I am the Senior Admissions Counselor for Harrisburg University. Just want to get my presentation up. All right, awesome. So Harrisburg University, we are a smaller four-year private school located in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We also have a campus in the Philadelphia area, more of a commuter campus designed for students who live in Philadelphia County and the surrounding counties as long as they're willing to travel there every day. And we are strictly a science and technology majors. As far as what we have to offer, we actually have 12 different majors. They're not all listed there because we did combine one with the integrative sciences. We have over 30 different concentrations. Everything, again, is going to be based off of science and technology, geospatial technology, computer and information sciences, information systems and information technology. We have a business program, biotechnology, advanced manufacturing, sciences, including forensics, which is a big one, and we also do game design. We are also a big esports school, so we do have esports management, which follows pretty much the growth of esports and the lucrative business that has come from that over the last few years. What you see in front of you are just a couple of places that our students have completed internships at or have worked at. We do require every single student to complete some kind of internship prior to graduation. Some of them are paid, some of them are not paid, some of them turn into job opportunities. It really just depends on what capacity you are taken in at that place. We do have a 91% placement rating, so that means within 6 months after graduation, 91% of our students do go off and get a job in their field or get an advanced degree. As far as housing, as I mentioned earlier, our Philly campus that is located at 16th and Spring Garden is it is a commuter style campus, so there is no housing. However, our Harrisburg campus does have all apartment style housing. When I say apartment style, I mean it has a fully functioning kitchen, bathroom, bedroom space, and living space. It is apartment style because we do not have any cafeterias on campus, so you will be responsible for making your own food. You can live anywhere with one other person up to 5 other people. Obviously, the amount of people in each apartment is going to vary the size of the apartment in itself. But there are common laundry facilities. We do have different amenities, and each building is wired with internet access. As far as college life, Harrisburg is located in the middle of the city. The city is not quite as big as Philadelphia. However, you will see the same type of diversity, food, nightlife, things like that going on in the city. We are right next to the state capitol building, so it just gives you an idea of where we are in the city. All of our buildings are currently within walking distance to the other buildings that we do house students in, student centers, and our new buildings that are being built at this time. We are just a couple minutes away from Hershey, Lancaster, and Gettysburg about an hour. But as far as Hershey and Lancaster, our students do frequent those areas often. I did forget to mention that we do have over 30 plus student-run clubs and activities. They range from major-specific all to liberal arts, creative arts, and performing arts. Anything we don't have as a major, you can probably see in a club or activity. As far as scholarships, I do like to mention this. This is one of the most important things I do like to tell students is that every single student who gets accepted into our program will get a scholarship based on their high school GPA. It is by year, so as long as you stay in good academic standing, you will get that scholarship. They range from 11,000 to 16,000 a year. Our tuition is 23,900 a year. So even getting that $11,000 scholarship will cut your tuition in half. And then you add financial aid on top of that and whatever third-party scholarships, we are never going to take money away from you. I talked about internships, so I do want to talk a little bit about class sizes, which is important for you all to think about. Our general education classes are going to be about 25 to 30 students, and our major specific classes are going to be about 7 to 13. I did say that we are a small school, however, we are growing, but we do intend to keep all class sizes very similar to what they have been in the last 18 years. As far as GPA requirements, we are typically looking for a 2.7, 2.75 GPA or higher to get into our institution. And we don't require SATs or ACT scores. However, if you don't really have that GPA, but your SATs and ACTs are through the roof, I encourage you to send those scores as well. Application is really easy. You can do it directly on our website and it is free, or you can apply through the Common App. I always tell students to just apply online, so that way you don't have to take up any space on your Common App. But whatever you want to do, it is totally up to you. And then once you finish your application, just send us your transcripts and I will get you an answer within 24 to 48 hours. Based on your admissions decision, if you get accepted, again, you will get that scholarship information as well. Here's my contact information. I'll be sure to put this in the chat, as well as a link to stay connected with us, should you choose and you want to know more about Harrisburg. But I'm an open book. I love to work with students, and I'm more than willing to answer any of your questions. And that is it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Edinboro University of Pennsylvania.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ariel Phillips. I'm an admissions counselor here at Edinboro University. I am also a two-time alum from Edinboro, so it's nice because I get to speak from both the professional side as well as the student experience. So at Edinboro, we have about 100 and some different majors. These are some of our big ones. Art is one of the big things that we're known for. I guess I should tell you too as well, Edinboro University, we are part of the Pennsylvania state system. We are the farthest north, around 6 hours away from Philly, so a little distance. But again, some of our big majors are going to be art. We have about 15 different concentrations just within the art department: animation, graphic design, virtual world and media design. We have communication studies and disorders, so speech pathology, hearing sciences, communication and journalism and media. One thing that's really neat for us is we have our own TV station, our own radio station, as well as newspaper that are all staffed by students. We have criminal justice, forensic science, education is going to be another big one for us. Anything from early childhood education, excuse me, special ed, middle level, secondary education. And then we have a new deaf and hearing sciences program that goes with our education as well, which is super neat, as well as nursing is going to be another big one for us, and our business major. Just to give you a little bit of the statistics about some of our majors, about 19% of our students are art majors. Again, cinema and animation are going to be those biggest ones as well. Again, education, early childhood majors. We also have exercise science, health and physical education, biology and the health sciences. We have several pre-professional degrees like pre-med, pre-dental, pre-physical therapy, occupational therapy, pre-vet, and those all work with Lecom Medical Center in Erie. So students are getting hands-on experience right off the bat. Nursing as well, we have our own STEM labs on campus. So again, students are getting hands-on experience. Something unique to our nursing program is that when you apply to the nursing program, if you're accepted, you're in the nursing program. We do that because it's one of our few programs that has a cap, because it guarantees your spot for clinicals. Again, business, computer science, virtual world and media design, and then about 35% of our students actually do come in as undeclared majors. So we have tons of resources to kind of help you navigate, where some of you, again, 17, 18 years old, we don't expect you to know exactly what you want to do. But as long as you have a plan A and a plan B, we can help navigate that for you. So the academics, of course, is extremely important, but you also want a reason to enjoy yourself outside of the classroom. And this is where we thrive. We highly encourage students to get involved. We have about 140 different clubs and organizations, 19 varsity sports, 16 Division II, one being Division I, which is going to be our wrestling. The good thing about those Division II and Division I sports is that means there's scholarship components. If students are athletes, I highly encourage them to reach out to those coaches. They're really, really good with getting back to students. Just go onto our website and reach out to the individual coaches under the athletics tab. They're great with it. We have everything from major specific organizations, student government, social Greek organizations, campus ministry, Highland ambassadors, which you get to kind of be, we call the president's entourage, which is pretty cool. And then another unique one for us is CORE, our campus outdoor recreational experience. A couple weeks ago, they went skydiving. They do tons of different activities to kind of give students that outdoor experience. For housing, we have two different options for students. We have our traditional housing, which is the as seen on TV, cinder block dorms, 2 beds, all that good stuff. The caveat to that one is there is a pet friendly floor. So if you have a small cat, dog, lizard, you have that option to bring that pet with you. We also have our Highlands. There are about 6 different options as to what those styles look like. But in essence, they're apartment style, and the most amount of people in that communal living space is 4 people. Some have 2 bathrooms in there, some have 1, some have living spaces, some have a kitchenette. So again, tons of different options for students. And we do guarantee housing for all 4 years. So how to apply to Edinboro? Super easy. We are on our application on our website, or as well as the Common App. We do have a fee on there, but I am going to throw a fee waiver code into the chat once I'm done, so that way you guys have it for visiting us virtually today. Early action deadline is going to be November 1. We in admissions like to say the early bird catches the worm. So the sooner you apply, the more financial aid options that'll be afforded to you. So again, want to make sure that you're getting that in, and that's where that November 1 deadline is really important for you. So to apply to Edinboro, all you have to do is apply online. Again, there's a fee waiver code. It's right there for you too, as well as I'll throw it in the chat. We need your high school transcripts, and then we are test optional. So we don't require students to have the SAT or ACT. But if you do super well and you like your score, I tell students to go ahead and send it. What we do is to consider you for scholarship packages. We look at both those QPAs as well as those possible test scores to kind of evaluate you and see what kind of scholarship package we can give you. So again, I tell students, use your best discretion. But again, we're test optional, so that's a nice plus. Another great thing is within the admissions office, we've been able to afford to give students, incoming freshmen, anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 in scholarships, renewable for up to 4 years, starting at a 3.0 and up. So again, just from applying those QPAs and possible test scores, this is where the scholarship components start to build. We also have an honors college. With that honors college comes tons of benefits. One of those is the additional $1,500 that's available for you as well. Plus there's a mentorship program, separate curriculum, and then there's several different project-based things that you'll be able to do within that honors college. So just to wrap up a little bit about us even more, we are a smaller school. So we're about 15 minutes from Erie, PA, and we're sitting in a nice little corner, I say, because we're about 2 hours from Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Buffalo. So those are your big major metropolitan areas near us. But again, it's that rural component, a little over 4,000 students. So classrooms, you're going to look at around 13-to-1, 15-to-1 student teacher ratio. So you really get to know your professors, your classmates, and things along that nature. As a student, I was able to do at least 4 or 5 national conferences, presenting my own research, as well as research I had done with professors. So again, that is Edinboro, and there's my contact info. But again, I'll throw that fee waiver code in the chat for you, and thanks.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate you having us on here today. So hello, everyone. My name is Ian McIsaac. I am an admissions counselor for Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and similar to Ariel and her institution, I am also a proud alum of 3 different programs at IUP. I am a proud alum of our 16-month certificate in the culinary arts. I took credits from that and transferred it into a bachelor's in hospitality management. And then I worked in the restaurant industry for a few years. And when I decided that working every Friday and Saturday night wasn't for me anymore, as I tried to start a family, I went back and got a degree in human resource and labor relations. And so that kind of led me down the path of admissions counseling. And so But one thing I want to stress inside all of those programs is that you will find your family. I still talk to my chef instructors from, I'm not going to tell you how many years ago. Same thing with the hospitality management faculty, some whom have retired, as well as the human resource folks. I still use those as references if I'm applying to positions across the university. Indiana University of Pennsylvania is also a part of the state system of higher education. So one thing to consider with that is that our universities inside the state system keep that tuition cost low for the students. We are here for you as the state of Pennsylvania. So the folks in Chester County, we're about 4 hours to the west, a beautiful drive along the turnpike, or if you want to save some toll money, I suggest you take Route 30. And yeah, it's about 4 hours away. We're about an hour east of Pittsburgh. We are a pretty good sized university with about 9,300 students right now. This number needs to get updated. So what that means is that we have a lot of opportunity to meet new students every day, but we're not so large that you're going to get lost. And while we are a state-owned university and a lot of our state students are from Pennsylvania, we do have a very good population from out of state as well as international population too. So you will learn more about your classmates. We are broken up into 5 different colleges on our campus, so that leaves us with 100+ majors. I'm not going to go through them all because that's way too many to run through, but we have the Everly College of Business that boasts the student management investment portfolio, where our students actually take scholarship dollars and invest them, and they've raised probably $800,000 because they started out with $200,000 about 15 years ago, and now over $1 million in US equities. And that goes towards our scholarship fund. So that's pretty impressive. And then we also have the College of Education and Communications with a nice communications media department. But we started as a teaching school a long time ago. And we teach everything from pre-K up through the PhD level. So, I mean, if you want a teaching degree, you got to check out IUP. That's how we started back in the day. We are building a new science and math building. So that will be completed in the fall semester of 2023. So there's going to be all kinds of new labs and equipment to play with for all the STEM folks out there that are interested in physics, chemistry, biology, geology and geography, regional planning. We also have a very good nursing and criminology department as well. We also have some niche programs like family consumer science education, interior design, and those sorts of things. So I suggest you check out those majors. All right, learning in the classroom. It's just like pretty much every other college out there. We have about 28 students in a class. But learning outside the classroom is more important. We have sent students to over 300 locations around the world. The only place we haven't sent anyone yet is the North Pole and the South Pole. And that's through our Office of International Education. Through our Career and Professional Development Center, we are a part of a national exchange program. So you can pay tuition to IUP, but then study at a private university in the Pacific Northwest or California, Texas. There's even some in Puerto Rico, Guam, a couple up in Canada as well that participate in that. So that's something to consider also. We do have a teamwork minor. You need to start this early, like your freshman year. Take a series of general elective classes that will complete this teamwork minor. There's actually a theater class that deals with communication and tough dialogue, as well as some organizational leadership classes, just something that looks good on your resume. And of course, the internships, many of our majors require internships. All of them have them as part of the curriculum if you wanted to do an internship. But basically that is like your first job interview, because a lot of times those positions will lead to jobs. All right, a little bit more about student life. We have tons of clubs to join, everything from traditional clubs like academic clubs, social and Greek life, to some more unique clubs. Like one of our tour guides is actually the president of the BMX and skateboard club. I thought that was very interesting when they told that as part of their spiel. And we also have the sailing club. They go out to Yellow Creek State Park and they'll be sailing on the weekends. So there's just a lot of unique clubs. So you're the ones that start the clubs. Just remember that. So if you think there should be a club on campus, just go to the student life office and say, I want this to be a club, and they'll get the paperwork started for you. We are also part of the Division II varsity athletics in the NCAA. as well as tons of club teams. So club teams are independently run, so they're maybe not as competitive and not as time constrained, but that's something else to consider. So, all right, I see Sarah is back, so I will turn it over to the next presenter, but I'll type some information in the chat as well. So, all right.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Millersville University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kiki Bobatis. I am one of the Assistant Directors of Admissions. Thanks for joining us tonight to find out all about Millersville. Can you see my screen? No.
All good. There we go.
Good. Okay, thanks. So Millersville is in Lancaster. We're about most of you are from Chester County. We're probably anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes away. So not too far, not too close, close enough to get home if you want. We do have Amtrak service right in Lancaster. We're a suburb of Lancaster, so it's easy to take the train home too if home for you has Amtrak service. We're medium-sized, about 6,000 full-time students. Average class size is 25 to 30. So it's large enough that there are a lot of opportunities, but yet it's not so large that you get lost in the shuffle. You get to know your professors in the classroom because the classes are small enough for that. And you get to know them in the advisor-advisee relationship too. If you are admitted as a psychology major, you'd be assigned to one of our psychology professors. If you are admitted as business, accounting, you'd be assigned to one of them. So there's always someone for you to sit down with, work with, plan things out to make sure you're taking courses in the right order. We do have over 100 majors to choose from. And as a few other people said today, it's totally okay if you're not sure yet. One of the largest groups we enroll each fall is undeclared students. And we have a special program called Exploratory, specifically for students who aren't sure. And they will help guide you through activities to focus on what your interests are and what majors or careers those interests might be related to. And you can see here, 95% of our students are employed within 6 months in their field or they're back in graduate school. One of the reasons I think it's important to visit, well, I think it's important to visit because if you're planning to spend 4 years of your life somewhere, you should want to check it out and see what it's like. But I do like for students to see our residence halls. They are pretty new. About 7 years ago, they leveled all of the old ones and put up brand new ones. They're all suite style housing. Freshmen and sophomores are required to live on campus if they live 40 miles or more away. Juniors and seniors who want to stay on campus have that option. But they are all suites. For the most part, 2 students share a bedroom and a bathroom, and then you have a shared living area with 2 other students. Some of you kind of in the western part of Chester County might be close enough to commute, but if you are able to live on campus, I encourage you to do that, especially because of getting involved with clubs and activities. You know, many times those meetings are later in the evening. So I do encourage students to live on campus if you can. If you can't, you know, for expense reasons, you know, I get it. There's a lot to do besides study, and I think it's important to get involved with something just as a way of meeting people with similar interests. Here you can see just a small sampling of things that we have to get involved with. And if there's something you enjoy doing and we don't have a club for that, there are steps you can take to get one approved. But I think it's good to either continue with an activity you've been doing in high school or maybe try something new that wasn't available to you previously. You know, college is all about exploring and trying new things in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. And we do have a lot of students who do internships and co-ops, which I highly recommend. Some of our majors have field experience built right in. If you are going to be a teacher, if you're going to be a social worker, you have to do field experience as part of your degree. But even if you are a chemistry major or a psychology major or a history major, you also would have the opportunity to do internships and co-ops. And like I said, I encourage you to take advantage of that. It looks great on a resume. And for some students, it has led to full-time employment. If you're getting ready to graduate and have had a successful internship, it could lead to an offer of employment that way. Here you can see the application timeline. Some of you with us tonight might be juniors. It's great you're starting to do research now. We do have 2 application options. We have our own Millersville application and the Common App. It's seniors apply now. We'd like to have them by November, like by Thanksgiving, end of October, early November. We do look at classes that you've taken freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Most students have about a B average. Most are in the top 35 to 40% of the class rank. There is a short essay, so you can do the Common App or the Millersville app, but there is a short essay with both of them. We are on rolling admissions. It usually takes about a week or two to hear something from us. And after you apply, you set up the application portal, and you can always log into that and check and see if we're waiting for something. The other important thing to be doing now for those of you who are seniors is the FAFSA. Our financial aid officers encourage you to have that done by early February, because end of February, early March is when they will start sending out the tentative aid packages. Our scholarships will be starting soon, usually December. We get the first round out. Most of those for the last few years have gone to students with a 3.8 or higher GPA, and top 10 to 12% of the high school graduating class. So yeah, for the application, definitely get it going soon here within the next month or so. After you are admitted, you do have until May 1st to make up your mind. So even though it's important to apply soon, you still have most of your senior year to think about it and decide. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me. I work with all of the schools in Chester County. So if you do call or text or email, they would shush it my way. So thanks for your time, and thanks for coming tonight. Bye.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Manor College.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Seth Carver. I am an admissions counselor at Manor College. Manor College is a small Catholic college in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, which is in southern Montgomery County. We're located just 30 minutes outside of the center of Philadelphia. We are a very small college with an enrollment of about 700 to 750 students. We have a very diverse campus, including many international students, especially students from Ukraine, since our institution is associated with the Ukrainian Catholic Church. We do offer housing. It is restricted to students who live over an hour away, but it is absolutely available for students to apply to. A couple of the reasons that make Manor so amazing are our small class sizes. We, as I said, are a small college, so we're able to offer a level of personalized education that is unparalleled compared to other institutions. We have a 12-to-1 student-faculty ratio. You'll receive personalized education at every step along the process, including free tutoring and office hours, lots of other opportunities for education outside of the classroom. We have been named the safest campus in Pennsylvania. We've been named the safest campus in Pennsylvania for 5 years in a row, as well as being the safest college in, or the second safest college in the entire country last year. One of the interesting facts about our campus is that we do include the cost of textbooks in our tuition, which makes it very easy for students to not have to shop around for textbooks. They just pick them up on the first day of classes. We have a very easy application process. We are rolling admissions, so we will send out admissions decisions within 2 weeks of the completion of an application, and we will continue to accept students throughout the year up until a couple of weeks before the start of the term. We have our own application as well as we are on the Common App, both of which are free. We are SAT and ACT optional across the institution and only require letters of recommendation or essays for some select programs. So it's very easy to apply, and you're welcome to apply at any time along the process. We have a great variety of programs, both at the associate's and bachelor's levels. A couple of our key a couple of our key majors are in education, where we have an excellent early childhood education program, which is focused on pre-K education. In business, where we have both associates and bachelor's programs in marketing, accounting, business management, as well as a fantastic sports management program with connections to the Philadelphia Eagles. We also have focuses in allied health, including our veterinary technology program, our dental hygiene program, and our pre-nursing program. Both our veterinary technology and dental hygiene programs have their own clinics on campus, which offers our students an excellent level of clinical experience, which makes them very career ready. Both of those programs offer both associates and bachelor's options for those degrees. We have 2 transfer programs, our pre-nursing program, which is an agreement with LaSalle University, where in 4 years split between 2 here and 2 at LaSalle, you'll complete a BSN in 4 years, and you will continue to pay Manor prices throughout, which is an incredibly great deal. We also have a 3+3 law program with Widener University, which allows our students to get direct entry into law school after 3 years at Manor College. The only requirement in order to enter law school is that you achieve the median LSAT score for the previous class for Widener, and you don't have to do any other applications for law school, which is an excellent way of getting into the legal profession. We also have a wide variety of additional programs that offer students the opportunity to kind of dip their toe into education for a couple years at Manor, taking advantage of our high quality of education before transferring to another institution. In terms of financial aid, we are FAFSA and FIA eligible, so we encourage all of our applicants to fill out the FAFSA, which is now available. This is definitely the best way to finance your education, as it will include grants, which are free money, as well as the best interest rate loans. Additionally, we do offer merit-based scholarships based on your GPA. As you can see, there are 3 different tiers. So every student who applies will be automatically reviewed for this scholarship. If they meet one of the GPA thresholds, they'll be asked to write an essay. And based on that essay, they'll be awarded that scholarship. In general, our tuition is very affordable, being about $19,000 a year, making us the best priced private residential college in the state of Pennsylvania. We do have a very vibrant student life on campus, including many different interest-based clubs and professional organizations, as well as 12 sports teams. We do compete in the USCAA division, our most popular sports being basketball, soccer, and volleyball. If you have any questions.
Thank you so much. If you want to put that information in the chat for folks, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. We're going to move on to a bit of question and answer from our panelists. So I would like to invite all of our panelists to join back up on camera and unmute themselves. And we'll start in the order of which we presented. So starting with Harrisburg University, the first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
So I always am surprised by the students that I run into. They ask better questions than I did when I was going to college. So I always say checking like diversity rates and who might be at the college. Are there going to be people who look like you, people who don't look like you, important stuff, as well as checking class sizes and just really understanding the environment that you work well in, because you are paying for these classes. So make sure that you are finding a school that best suffices your needs in the learning environment, and not just student life and what they do outside of the classroom.
Edinboro University of Pennsylvania.
So my best advice would be make sure you're doing your research, looking at different institutions. Everybody has dream schools they want to apply to. Make a list. and start visiting. This is going to be the place that's going to be your home for the next 4 years and where you're going to grow and become an adult and just kind of start your life. It's the first chapter. So making sure that you can physically see yourself on that campus, whether it's a city setting or a rural community, you just really want to make sure that this is where you feel comfortable and you feel home. And yeah, so make sure you do your research.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
So to kind of to piggyback off of what Ariel said about going and visiting, I would narrow it down after your initial visits. If you have 1 or 2 schools, go visit again, but reach out to the specific academic department and find out more from the actual faculty members, because they're the ones that are going to teach you. It's great for us as admissions counselors to show off our campus, but try to make that connection with the faculty members specifically. And that's really who you're going to vibe with while you're a student there. And they might give a little more insight about some facts and figures about the specific department as well.
Millersville University.
Couple of things. First of all, start early. It's great, again, that you're doing research and attending this program today. Definitely start early, find out what all of the college's deadlines are that you're applying to. Don't be afraid to reach out to your admissions counselors. That's why we're here. Call us, text us, email us. If you have any questions along the way, that's why we're here. And also, yes, it's important to, do your research, get on campus, make sure you're comfortable. But having worked with transfer students for a while, nothing's really set in stone. If you do end up at an institution and it's just not quite what you thought, you can always transfer. Most of the classes you take freshman, sophomore year are going to be liberal arts courses that all institutions are going to accept. So that's what I'd say.
Manor College.
So I would suggest that students try to cast a fairly wide net in their initial inquiries into colleges. You might have a picture in your mind of what the perfect school for you is, but it might not ultimately be where you fit in the best. So if you're interested in mostly large schools, check out a small school. If you're looking mostly local, consider one that's a little further away. Just look into all your options before you set yourself up to apply for specific schools.
So our next question, and we'll start again with Harrisburg University. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
So I always like to bring up that we are a strictly science and technology school. We have very niche majors. We highlight ourselves on being nerds and geeks. We don't try to compete with big name schools. We want a very special type of student to come to us who are passionate about our majors. In addition to that, we are big on esports and majors and jobs that you wouldn't necessarily think exist at the time. So if you as a student are just trying to figure out something that you want, but you can't really articulate it, and it is along the realm of science and technology, definitely look into us. We will be able to help you point you into the right direction.
Edinboro University of Pennsylvania.
One thing about us, we are a liberal arts school, so we are very much known for a lot of our art stuff. One of the big ones, I guess, is our alum just recently worked on the Mandalorian, the Baby Yoda project. So tons of hands-on experience, both lived, learned, and worked experience. So you get to learn from the professionals that have done it themselves. Another just like fun thing, and it becomes a love or hate relationship with Edinboro alum. Our fight songs played with bagpipes, which isn't something you see very frequently at all, especially in college world. So it's a different experience. It's all encompassing because you kind of get a little bit of the big world around you. But again, with us being in that smaller setting, you don't feel as overwhelmed. You're not a number. You really get to feel who you are as a person. And you have that avenue, even if you're not an art person. There's art therapy things you can do. There's different activities, and just it's a nice place for you to just kind of find yourself in.
Millersville University. Oh, I'm so sorry. Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
One thing I didn't get to say in my 6 minutes was, so one thing that I want everyone to remember is that the application's free. So send it in. All you got to do is fill out the online form and send in your high school transcripts. And there's no application fee code or waiver or anything like that, because we still get phone calls. I don't have an application fee or fee waiver to send in. So that's because it's not there. So don't even worry about it.
Millersville University.
It's small enough and everybody's there to help you. I mean, the faculty, the staff, everyone is very approachable, whether you need help academically or emotionally. It's a very welcoming campus, and it has a pond and swans. The picture behind me is our pond on campus. It's my favorite part of campus. It's very peaceful and quiet, but we're not too far from home, and somebody's always around to help if you need it.
Manor College.
So the thing that I want students to remember is that we have a very hands-on approach to education, and that's evidenced by the fact that our college president has an open door policy. He allows students to come in at any time to speak with him, and he actually has his office right behind our front desk. So we really focus on addressing students' needs at all times.
And our last question for today, again, starting with Harrisburg University, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
I think the one I'm going to go with is that you have to pick your major right away. It might sound a little contradictory with our school just because we do try to start students with foundational courses within their second semester or sometime within their first year. However, from personal experience, I switched my major 4 or 5 times and I still graduated in 4.5 years. I don't recommend doing that. However, I will say, as long as you have an idea of what kind of area you want to stick around in, I was education and civic services. So I was able to kind of bounce around and take a lot of the same classes and just get a feel for everything. That helps me understand where I really fit, but just have an idea of what you think you want to do, but I don't think you have to necessarily make that decision at 18, 19, 17 years old.
Edinboro University of Pennsylvania.
Kind of, yeah, just to mimic what Jordan said. We want you to know what you want to do, but also we're very realistic in the fact that we don't expect you as 17 and 18-year-olds to know what you're doing. Some of us in our 20s and 30s still don't know what we're doing. So we can't expect you to. So it kind of goes back to making sure you feel at home and you feel comfortable. And like Kiki said, you're probably going to maybe want to switch your major, or you might not really like where you're at and want to transfer. We're here and there are services and faculty and staff to help you navigate that. So please don't feel overly pressured to go in and be like, I'm going to be a doctor first day, and then you change your mind and want to be, I don't know, an engineer. Things are possible. There are options. Do not overwhelm yourself by making sure you have the exact right decision right away. It's not necessary, so don't stress.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
I think one thing that students need to consider is not stress over it. Everyone stresses out about, the essay or the letters of recommendation or all those extra things. A lot of universities don't even require them anymore. They might not even weigh them heavily inside their admissions process. So take some time, find out where you want to apply. That's the other thing, is try to find some time, because during the middle of your senior year, you have homecoming and other football games and other senior year activities and all that sort of stuff during this time as well. So for the juniors on the call, start early. For the seniors on the call, it's not too late. Please feel free, like everyone else said, reach out to us. We can help you along and make sure that it's an easy process for you.
Millersville University.
I don't know that it's a myth, but just a piece of advice: don't go home every weekend. Go to the, do your research, go to the campus, get involved. Don't just go home every weekend. Stay there and meet people. You get a lot out of it that way.
Manor College.
I think one myth I'd like to debunk is just that the admissions process is daunting. There are lots of colleges where the admissions process is very easy. It's very easy to apply. There are lots of colleges with rolling admissions where you can apply at different times of the year. It doesn't always have to be, a stressful push in September and October. There are lots of different options to look at.
Well, that concludes our time together, but it's not done just yet. I do want to thank our wonderful panelists and presenters for their insight and their information. And thank you all for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. And from now until the top of the hour, when the next session starts, you can join the college representatives who presented this hour and chat with them in a breakout room. I'm going to post the breakout, the link in the chat right now. So go ahead and click that link. This link is for our panelists and our attendees today, and you'll be able to chat with one another, and you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Chester County. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.